Do you have questions about the Facebook ad process? If so, this is the video you're going to want to check out. In today's video, I'm going to be covering the most common Facebook ads questions and the answers to those questions. Take a look. Hey everyone, Kevin Smullin with 2Q Lead Generation Strategies. If you are new to our channel, welcome. We're glad you're here. What we're all about is helping real estate agents just like you generate more leads, set more appointments, close more deals. So if that's what you're after, this is the place to be. Please consider subscribing. We'd love to have you here as part of our community. Before I get going in today's video, just one quick note down below in the description, you'll find a link for our Facebook Masters class. This is a free course that shows all of our best practices that are helping our clients generate leads, set more appointments, and close more deals. So make sure you go check that out. Absolutely time well spent. So for today's video, I'm going to be covering a lot of the most common questions that people ask me over and over again about Facebook ads. So in today's video, this will probably be a longer video than most of the ones that I do. And not all of the questions will probably be relevant to you. So feel free, I will put chapters on the video where you can just kind of, look at the timestamps below and just go to the questions that interest you the most. So let's go ahead and jump right in. So the first question is about rejected ads. So why do my ads on Facebook get rejected? So the most common reason, I'm going to share my screen. The most common reason why ads get rejected, I'm just going to go ahead and pick anything. It doesn't really matter. The most common reason why ads get rejected, especially in the real estate industry, is because people are not using the special ad category. So for every 10 ads that I see that are rejected, 9 of them are probably for this reason alone. So real estate is a regulated industry, meaning that you can't target people based on the protected statuses, age, gender, religion, et cetera, et cetera. So anytime you are running a real estate ad, you have to specify that this is a special ad category, meaning that it is an industry that has advertising regulations. So if you don't select housing, you will find that your ad gets rejected every single time. So make sure that when you're setting up your ad right here on the very first screen where you're selecting your objective and what you want to do, there is this special ad category and you have to select that. So that's probably the most common reason why ads get rejected. There's other ones about like circumventing. That's another one. Like circumventing means that you're saying you're going to send people to one, but then like one website, but then you direct them to another. That happens periodically. So you just got to make sure that what you're saying and your links are consistent. That'll eliminate those. But those are probably the two most common reasons why I see ads get rejected. If there's something else, leave a comment down below. And if it's something I'm familiar with, I'll give you a response. So anyway, that's the first question. Second question, what should I spend for my advertising budget? Or what should I spend on an individual ad? So kind of with that question in mind, the answer is it depends. So the way that I teach my clients and the way that I go about things is that my strategy and what I recommend is having different ads running. So having one ad running specifically with the purpose of generating leads and creating those opportunities, and then having a second ad that is running with the intent and focus of building trust, building credibility, conveying helpful information, getting people to see you as the real estate expert, as that authority. So the budget that I use depends on where I'm kind of at in that process and the size of my audiences. So anytime I'm running a lead generation ad, I will always run that ad to a new group of people that have no idea who I am, right? So if I go and just kind of go through the targeting here where I'm defining what my audience would be, I'll come back to this in a second since that's the budget question that we're answering. But let's say I go through this and I'm saying, well, I want to target people living in Salt Lake County and people that are interested in things pertaining to like real estate. So things like Zillow, realtor.com. And for what I'm showing you, that's enough. So if I were to set up something like that as the targeting, you'll notice that the audience size, it's estimating it here to be around 400,000, right? 412 to 485,000 people. So with that having been said, where it's roughly costing, now lead generation ads tend to be a little bit more expensive. It tends to be around 1.5 to sometimes 2 cents every time your ad is shown per impression. So for an audience this size, you could easily spend thousands of dollars on an ad and still have plenty of people in that audience who haven't seen what you're doing. So most of you are probably not in the space where you want to be spending thousands of dollars on one single ad. And so a lot of my clients, the question that I really ask them when they ask me, how much should I spend for a lead generation ad? The answer is, it depends on how many leads that you want. So it fluctuates depending on what's happening in individual markets and what you're marketing. But a lot of times my clients are generating leads around $3 to $4 a piece. So let's just take that as a benchmark. If you know that it's costing you around $3 to $4 to generate a lead, then frankly, it's kind of simple, right? So if you're spending, say, $10 a day and it's costing $3 to $4 to generate a lead, depending on how the ad does that particular day, you're probably going to generate somewhere between 2 to 4 leads per day. And so at $10 a day, knowing that it's costing you $3 to $4 per lead, that's likely what you're going to receive. So if 2 to 4 leads per day is what you're looking for, then $10 a day is probably what, the ad budget you want to go with. If you're wanting more, so if you said, well, Kevin, I want 8 leads a day. Well, I know on the low side, it's going to cost $3. On the high side, it's going to cost $4. So times both of those by 8, and you've got a range of $24 to $32 per day. So I would tell you that's realistically the range you need to be at to get the results that you're looking for. So the question you really need to answer with a lead generation ad is, how many leads do you want per day? And then that's going to dictate what the budget should be. Then it's just a question of, do you want to spend that or not? The other type of ad, the retargeted ad, where I'm running ads to leads that I've generated before, my database that I've uploaded into Facebook, all those custom audiences. You've probably seen tons of tutorials on my channel about that. So an ad like that, how much do I spend? Well, the answer is it depends on the size of those audiences. So if I've got, a combination of all those people, if it's around 10,000 people where it's costing around 1 cent every time my ad is shown, right? So if I've got 10,000 people and it's costing 1 cent every time my ad is shown, we just move the decimal 2 spaces. You need to be spending about $100 on an ad like that to get it in front of everybody that you've got for your database. So those are really the numbers that I'm looking at. For lead generation, it's the cost per lead multiplied by how many leads I want. For the for the retargeted ad, it's based on the size of my audience, based on a 1 cent cost per impression ratio. Again, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to get it in front of every single person, but it is the best benchmark, and that is what I use. So for budgets, that's how I determine what the budget should be, and that's what I recommend. Next question, ad targeting. How do I target ads and get the best results? So with that being said, let's go back to, since we're right here for the targeting section. So the first part of the targeting is geography. You're going to pick the geography that you want. For most people, the option that you want is this one, people living in this location. Facebook will default to this first one, people living in or recently in this location. For a lot of you who are just doing traditional real estate, that's not the option that you want, because if you left it that way, it's going to also target people who recently were here. Maybe they traveled to see friends or family, or they came here for a work meeting or whatever, right? So a lot of those people have no intention of ever buying a home in the area that you're at. And so you're probably not going to want that option. The one you want is people living in this location, and that will cut out, the people who are traveling and just came for business or whatever the case is. Then the next thing is you're going to determine the geography that you want to target. So Facebook, because of their anti-discrimination practices that they've put in place, if you were to target a city, so let's say I was to target Dallas, Texas, right? So if I start typing in Dallas and Texas pops up, you'll notice that it picks Dallas as the center point, but then it does a 15-mile radius around that area. So what you want to realize is anytime you're targeting a zip code, a city, a specific address, it's going to default to 15 miles around that. Now I can increase that. I can go up to 50, but 15 is the minimum because they view that as non-discriminatory. Okay. Now you can target specific counties. So if a lot of cases, if you want something smaller, you can do just a county, and depending on how the counties are organized where you're at, that could help you tremendously. So county is not based on a 15-mile radius, it's just the entire county. Same with a state. If you were to target a state, it would be the entire state, right? So a couple different ways of doing it, but basically you're going to select the geography that you want for your ad, and you can't adjust age, you can't adjust gender. Again, all of that is based on the non-discrimination stuff. But where you can get some specifics in is here in the detailed targeting section. So with detailed targeting, what I end up using depends on what it is that I'm marketing. So if I'm running an ad targeting buyers, a lot of times I'm using things like Zillow, because people interested in Zillow would likely be interested in what it is that I'm marketing. Same is also true for people going to realtor.com. And realtor.com is kind of a strange one. It won't populate in the list unless you type it out. It's kind of weird. So anyway, realtor.com is another common one. There's also other ones like Trulia. They used to have homes.com, but they got rid of that one just recently. So those would be the main ones that I would probably use for targeting a buyer. If I were targeting a seller, then I would use things that imply home ownership, things like home repair, right? Home improvement, home renovation. Oh, I think it's just renovation. Yep. Interior design. Oops, helps if you spell correctly. Interior design. So those would be the kinds of things that I would target if I were running an ad to generate seller leads. Those things that imply home ownership. Another thing that you can do is you can click on suggestions, and it'll show you other options that are similar to some of the ones that you've done. So you can kind of go down the list, and based on what you're doing, you might say, yeah, people interested in mortgage loans would be a good target, right? So again, there's different options, different ways, but all I'm really thinking about, and kind of the question I'm asking myself to determine what detailed targeting options I want to use, is I'm really thinking about answering the question, the people that are going to be interested in what I have to offer, what else are they looking at? So again, if people who want to buy a home, they're likely looking at Zillow, realtor.com, those options we talked about. So that's what I'm thinking about, and the answer to that question, what else are they interested in, that is going to determine how I can get in front of the people that I want to get in front of. You can also click on the browse option right here. Let me just click off, there we go. And what browse will do is it's the entire list, right? So you can go through the entire list of everything that they have to offer, and you can see it's a lengthy list, so I'm not going to go through it step by step. But these are all targetable options for any kind of ad and thing that you're running. So make sure you go take some time, go through those. You'll find some that are going to be great targets, and like I said, you can use that for targeting your ads a little bit better. So that's what I would recommend for targeting. The next question people ask is, what's the best buyer lead ad? One of the best buyer lead ads that I run, it's kind of my bread and butter. You've probably seen tons of tutorials. In fact, you'll see with this one that's running right here. This is an ad I run all the time. And for buyer leads, one of my go-tos is picking a listing and using the listing to advertise, advertising the listing to generate interest from potential buyers. So I'm giving them enough information about the home to get excited, but I'm intentionally keeping back the price, the address, and the photos so that they have a reason to engage. So you can do it as you see here with a specific home. You could do like a list of homes, like a list of homes that are great for first-time buyers, or a list of homes with a home office or an accessory apartment. List of homes that would be great for short-term rentals if that's a thing in your area, if you want to target investors. Again, there's just different ways of doing it. But normally by focusing on a home or a list of homes typically is the best way of generating leads for buyers. Now, same question, but for sellers. What are you doing what are some of the best seller ads? So some of the best seller ads, I personally am not a huge fan of the CMA ad. So it would take me some time to go pull up some examples. So I'll just talk through this. I'm not a fan of like offering a free market analysis. And the reason is my experience with that is anytime I offer that, there's just a pretty low response. We do get responses, but they end up costing around $25, $30 a piece. And it just isn't super helpful. So some of the ones that I've run, especially in times when there wasn't a lot of inventory and homes were selling very quickly, is we would take a home that just sold and say, hey, we just sold this home in the area. It went for this asking price in this many days, and they got this many offers, and just say, because of all of this and the marketing that we've done, we have other buyers that are interested in buying a home in the area. So if you've thought about selling, reach out to us. We may already have your home sold, right? So kind of just doing a just sold type of ad targeting, again, potential sellers. That would probably be one of the best that I have seen and that I've personally run, is just saying, hey, we've already sold this. We've got more buyers. If you're interested, contact us. We can probably have your home sold pretty quick. So that is what I would recommend, and probably the one that I've had the best results with for targeting sellers specifically. Farming. So geographic farming. Can geographic farming be done on Facebook? And the answer to the question is yes, but you have to go about it differently. So with that being said, you'll notice, and we already talked about this, when you're going through and doing the targeting, if I select a specific, I'll go back to the example that we were doing. So if I select a specific area like I did here for Dallas, right? Let me pull that up again. So if I pick a specific area like Dallas, it's going to default with Dallas to be the center point and then a 15-mile radius around that. So how do you farm when it's picking a 15-mile radius? Well, the way that we do that is through custom audiences. So you'll notice there's an option here for custom audiences where you can create one. So you can create a custom audience based on a customer list. So my clients who do farm geographic areas, the way they go about that is they will obtain a list of the people in the area that they want to farm. There's lots of data services out there where you can buy a list and get phone numbers and or email addresses of people in a geographic area. Well, what we do is we just take that list, we upload that into Facebook using this feature, and then that becomes the targeting that we use. So this one doesn't do any of that, but basically it just becomes a custom audience that you can target for that purpose. So that is how you end up farming a geographic area. It's not by using the targeting that Facebook provides, it's by using a custom audience when you upload the list of the people that you want to farm. Okay, so that's how, if you wanted to do it, that is the best way to go about it. Now, with that being said, that's another common question, is uploading contacts. How do you do that? Well, so as you see, it's through custom audiences, and it is using this option called a customer list. Now, there's a template right here that you can download. I do recommend taking a look at the formatting guides, telling you how the data has to be formatted to be able to upload it. So to make things very quick and easy for the purposes of this video, I don't want to give a step-by-step tutorial because that would take too long. There's tons of them already on my channel, so go take a look at those if you want to see the step-by-step. But simply put, it needs to be a CSV file. You can just create one of those inside any spreadsheet program. You're just going to go File, Save it as, and then one of the options is to save it as a CSV file, and that's what you need. Facebook is that's number one. Number two, Facebook is primarily looking for phone numbers and or email addresses. So when you upload that list into Facebook, what's going on behind the scenes is Facebook is checking all the phone numbers and email addresses for all the user accounts that they have, and anytime they find a user account that has matching data to the list that you uploaded, it's basically taking that user profile and pulling it into that list. So the nice thing about this customer list is it's a fantastic way to target your sphere of influence, your previous clients, your warmest market, and these are people that you want to keep in front of. So I do recommend that. But that is how you go about doing it, is uploading a customer list. Placements. So what placements, that's the next question. What are the best placements to use for the ad? So placements are right here. It's in the ad set, which is the second part of the ad. And it will always default to automatic placements. And when Facebook does automatic placements, what they do is they basically use everything. Now, I personally am not a huge fan of automatic placements because there are some places where the ads just have a historic low response rate because they're just very low visibility areas. And so I don't like using them. So normally what I'll do is I will always click on manual placements, and I want to pick where my ads are going to show up. So you can pick Facebook, Instagram, Messenger, or Audience Network. Facebook, self-explanatory. Instagram, self-explanatory. When you're inside Messenger, there are ads that people will see there, so you can have it show up there. I'm not a huge fan of that one. In most cases, I uncheck that one. Audience Network, these are third-party websites where Facebook purchases advertising space, and so when people click away from Facebook, they can still see your ads on other websites and other places that they're going. So where that, in most cases I don't use that option, but in the rare times when I do, the main reason why I use it is if I want to create that experience where people are on Facebook, they see my content, then they start going to other websites and they're still seeing my content, it creates that perception of, man, Kevin is everywhere, right? If I want people to have that kind of an experience when I'm running a specific ad, that is when I will use that particular option. But in a lot of cases, like especially with lead generation ads and things like that, I do not use that option. If you click on these little arrows, it will expand your choices in these individual areas. Now the feed, the main news feed for both Facebook and Instagram, these are the prime spots, right? So if you're running Facebook, you're always going to have that one checked. If you're running ads on Instagram, you're always going to have that one checked. The rest of them are kind of optional. So the marketplace is the classifieds area. I've had decent results with that one, so in a lot of cases, I will leave that checked. The video feeds. So what that is when you've got, if you've had that experience where you've watched a video on Facebook and you get a little bit into the video and then it switches over to an ad and then goes back to the video. That's what this placement is. In most cases, I don't use it. If I'm having a video, if the ad that I'm running is a video, then sometimes I'll use that so that the video is playing inside of another video. But again, in most cases, I'm not going to use that option. Instagram Explorer, I'll often keep that one. Stories and Reels are also okay, so you can keep those options. In-stream, I always uncheck that one. Search, in most cases, I will uncheck that one, and in article. So the prime spots that I really want my ads showing up is obviously the news feed, and then also Stories and Reels can be okay, especially but if it's a longer post or something like that, I'll normally uncheck the Stories and Reels, right? So as far as placements go, that's what I would recommend, and that's what I typically do. And then the last question that I get all the time is lead integration. So let's say you are running a lead generation ad, right? So let me get out of this real quick. If you were to create a new ad and you were doing lead generation, Facebook doesn't really have a great system to notify you of brand new leads. So the way that I do it with my clients is I use a program called Zapier. I've never known how to say it, but Zapier. And what this does is it's a piece of software that basically ties two platforms together. So you can create, it's called a Zap, but it's basically just a little program that's running that says anytime I've got a brand new Facebook lead, I want you to take the lead and do something with it. And you can pick what that is. So a lot of software, like a lot of CRM programs, a lot of databases will integrate with Zapier. So you can say, I want you to take this and move it into LionDesk or move it into Boomtown or whatever, right? So this is what I use to take the leads and integrate into the systems that my clients are using. And that way I can get the leads processed instantaneously rather than having to go and look and see if I've got a brand new lead. So if you're going to be involved with generating leads with Facebook, Zapier, in my opinion, is a must-have piece of software. Highly, highly recommend it, but that is how I'm doing it so that, like I said, my clients are getting notified right away. So those are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those are the top 9 questions that I get all the time about running Facebook ads. So hopefully that was very helpful for you. If it was, do me a favor. Take a split second, click that thumbs up button down below. That is a signal to YouTube that you like the content that we're putting out, and so they recommend it more often. And again, if we've helped you, help us in return. Click that thumbs up button down below, and we appreciate your support. Also, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Down in the down below, you'll see a subscribe button. Right next to it, there's a little bell notification. If you click that, you'll be notified every time we put out a brand new video, and we put out new videos like this every single week to help you grow your business and improve what you're doing for marketing. Also, if you're curious about our done-for-you services or some of our online courses, you'll find all of that information down in the description below, so feel free to go check those out. Other than that, that's it. Make it a great week. Keep crushing it with your real estate business. As always, if we can help, let us know. Otherwise, we will see you on the next video. Take care.